Right, we best put our shoes back on. So we've just awoken from our evening with Keira after she sent us to sleep. And of course, she's headed over to Fyke Isle to check out the Mage Alexander's laboratory. Okay, with the cavalry boots, so we're missing our gloves as well. So we're going to have to go over there and find out what she's doing in the tower. Though it can't be anything good, that's for certain. Nothing around this camp. Now we can either have a long swim, or is there a boat nearby? Yes, there is, back at Oriton. It's actually that quest there that we just rode past. So we're all the way up at Keira's Hut, we rode all the way down here, and we actually went past this quest. So after I've been to Fyke Isle, we'll come back and check out what this is. But witches, eh? They always have their own agenda up the sleeve, and Keira was no different. Seems her focus is towards the Mage Alexander's notes. Let's just hope there's no intention of continuing those experiments and work. I mean, if there's something good to find in those notes without sacrificing innocence, then go for it for academical reasons, but Keira, don't go meddling too much, please. It's really not something to dig too much into. Cast off. This will be the last part of Keira's questline now, I think. So we had dinner with her, and she asked us about the Mage Alexander's notes. We gave her them, and then she sent us to sleep. We'll read through the quest in a moment once I dock up. The light's still on at the top of the tower. There's plenty of boats still over at Fyke Isle. That sunshine sure as hell disappeared in the blink of an eye. Bloody island, you get rid of the curse and it still can't even try and brighten up your day. If possible, I'd like to avoid those drowners, which we have. Good. It's about waist deep in that water. Keira, what are you up to? So I'll read through the journal. So, for the advancement of learning, nothing about sorceresses should be taken at face value. Their faces, least of all, those perfect, ever-youthful visages, have as little to do with nature as Hierarch Hemmelfart has with charity. If anyone should have learned to think twice when dealing with them, it was Geralt, and yet he still accepted Keira's dinner invitation. During what Geralt naively thought to be an innocent conversation between friends, Keira tricked him into revealing information about the Mage Alexander's laboratory, and then, when he was least expecting it, sent him to sleep with a spell so he could not stop her from carrying out her nefarious plans. Well, I wouldn't exactly call them nefarious, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I mean it depends what she wanted to do with them. I mean, we know after reading through Alexander's notes ourselves that he was a bit detestable prick, capturing innocent civilians for his own work. Deal with more ghouls.
Come on, come closer.
Generation on this final ghoul's playing quite well for it. It's Nearly back to full. Now I am back to full. Now you die, final ghoul. Now you die.
Lost your nerve?
Oh, these monsters aren't going away from Fyke Isle, are they? You leave for 5 minutes and they're all already swarming back. Right, is Keira going to be in the laboratory or not?
A light. Top floor of the tower.
Take that as a yes.
So, found what you were looking for?
Yes, thanks for asking. How are you feeling? Sleep well?
So the notes you used me. Gil, I don't think you really care that she used you. Let's be honest. Right, what's with the notes?
What do you want with those papers?
Why, I aim to use them to continue important work that a man's tragic death put on hold. Alexander was studying the Catriona plague. I'll use his notes to produce medication, perhaps a cure, or at least a vaccine.
Strictly humanitarian motivations, is that it?
No, strictly selfish ones. The mighty would pay willingly for such a remedy. Can you imagine how much? Take Radovid, for instance. Why, he might even consider forgetting my past associations with the Lodge.
Are you nuts? Have you met Radovid? He's a lunatic. He's an absolute nutter. There's no way he's gonna forgive you for anything like that. He hates mages. Yeah, Radovid never forgets.
Radovid doesn't forget, and Radovid doesn't forgive, especially when it comes to sorceresses.
He'll make an exception for me. He'll have to. I have something he wants.
Please, you don't believe that.
Well, you believe Yennefer will stop treating you like a dog someday. Don't see me laughing. I'm going to see Radovid, tell him of this research, whether you like it or not.
Keira, I can't let you do that. That's a bit pushy. Do what you want. It's suicide. Well, it is suicide.
This is suicide, Keira. You'll wind up tied to a stake, burned to bolster the morals of the masses while entertaining them.
Shut up for a moment and look at me. See this? Bedbugs, Geralt. Bloody bedbugs. I, Keira Metz, advisor to Foltest, a member of the Lodge of Sorceresses, have bedbugs. Think what you will, but I'll not stay in this bloody swamp one day more. Not one day. I shall cross the Pontar, and that means Radovid's men will find me sooner or later. Don't you understand? I don't have a choice. I will have to parley.
Go to Kaer Morhen and expect me to pity you, or do what you think is right. No, go to Kaer Morhen.
Got another option. Go to Kaer Morhen.
You believe I'd be safe there?
Long as you don't piss Lambert off, yes. Emir, Radovid, neither will be able to reach you. Find little in the way of luxury there, but we do have clean sheets.
It's a long way, well beyond the dividing line. But if I keep to the woods until I reach the Kestrel Mountains, I should pass through unnoticed. So be it. Seems I find it hard to refuse you, handsome. You've clearly a notion of what women want, how they think.
Oh, that's a choice and a half. See you at Kaer Morhen, which will allow her to keep the notes. Or before I go, the notes, I'll take them. So that stops her from essentially definitely going to Radovid, whereas the first one is sort of trust. it's hard to trust the sorceress as it is anyway. But she says she does have good intentions for them. So she said because of the Catriona plague, she's trying to research a cure. So do I take them from her to stop that research? Will she continue the research on her own? Or... That's a real tough choice, that one. Because if she does continue the research for the Catriona plague, she could save thousands of lives. But if I take the notes, I'm probably just going to sell them for money. So it's... we'll trust her. Alright, we'll trust her.
So, see you at Kaer Morhen? Bed's free of bedbugs, mostly.
I long to be there already. See you, Geralt.
See you later, Keira. She's gonna portal out of here? I think she is. Oh, God damn, I'll let her run through that. Oh, it's the last time I want to go in that accursed place. I know we've got rid of the curse, but it still creeps me out. Now the Bloody Baron's quest has once again popped up. I'm not heading there quite yet. But as I mentioned, I would like to head back to Oraton where we ran past that quest on horseback and see what that was that we missed during that sort of horse race me and Keira were doing. But we have taken a bit of a risk there, I've got to admit. So trusting a sorceress to not use those notes as she intended is a risk in itself. But at least we've talked her into going to Kaer Morhen, so hopefully she'll stick to a word and indeed go there. Not going to be a long time till we cross paths with her again though. Long time. So I hope she has a safe journey. We get fucking stuck in the bushes. Try and get the boat that I originally docked up. But it'll be interesting to see how the results of that choice play out. I'm sure there'll be some upsides to it and some downsides to that decision. But gotta live with it now. You can see Graham's hut just from here. Take the helm and head straight there. Probably dock up much closer than I thought actually. What's that? Nothing, it's fine. Pick up the pace. Here we are. Right then, it should be just north of us. It is, right, yep, so if we follow this road, we'll be straight there. After we've done this, it'll be into Oraton to read the notice board and see whatever happenings are around this area. I imagine it's going to crop up a few question marks around these little houses and areas. But we spent quite a lot in the last video going through some of these areas and look at it. We've actually barely even scratched the surface of all this. But there was one of the guarded treasures. Bloody hell. That was it, yeah, all these here. Still plenty, that's into the double digits. So if we follow this road, we should happen upon this quest very shortly. A very pleasant morning, isn't it? Makes a change. There we go, those ruins must be where we're heading.
The old god demanded 6 sucklings. You didn't bring but a single scurvy run. No wonder he cursed us. We're doomed.
You's the one brought soured wine. Curse is your fault as much as mine.
What are you doing here?
What? The sun flying from the moon? We're making offerings to the Old God, clearly.
You too can seek his aid. That's if you got fitting offerings. He scorned ours, then cursed the old village.
Oh God.
The All-God, you call him. First I've heard. Is some new deity?
Nay, 'tis ancient, revered by our forefathers. They say it were like this. Roslav of Oriton came here to gather brushwood, and suddenly, for no reason, a bush burst into flame. Then, Roslav heard a voice from the ground, demanding offerings and obedience.
We've been coming here since then, bearing gifts, in exchange for which the All God watches over us, keeps us from evil.
Plain to see that. So, what's wrong with your offerings?
You needn't mock us, you can see right well we brought scraps. Before the war, I wouldn't give this such to me elms. But what can we do? Such are the times.
And they're like to get worse. All God said if he don't get a rafter of bacon and a barrel of beer at least, the rivers will fill up with frogs and locusts or some such will devour the harvest.
Could have a chat with this All God, can't help you just now. Of course we'll do it.
I could intercede on your behalf with this All-God of yours. Got a feeling we'd come to an understanding.
Well, I suppose it can't hurt to try. To speak with him, you have to stand before the altar and cry out, "All God, help a poor wretch in need." Who knows, he might just listen to a foreigner.
Cheers. A greedy god. Address the All God using the altar. Yeah, I'm sure Geralt's going to be oh so thrilled to chant that for him. Dealers. Let's have a little look around this area first. Blood. Why is there always blood? Okay, so there's obviously wolves surrounding this entire place. That's what I was looking for. Enhanced Dragon Stream. You knew with these ruins there was going to be something hidden around here.
Nahal in his eye. Ought to use it.
That's the way down then, isn't it? It's an illusion.
There's something here. Need to use the eye.
I know, Geralt. We'll do this altar first, though.
Oh, All-God, help a poor wretch in need. Pretty please.
How dare you disturb my divine rest, mortal?
I dare disturb it because I want your divine self to lift the, curse you cast. Those peasants really don't have.
They must bring worthy offerings or they shall face drought, driving hail, earthquakes, avalanches. I have spoken.
Avalanches? Here? How would that work? No answer from the All-God. Fine. We can finish our conversation when I find him. Voice came from underground.
Interesting. I'm sorry, Geralt, for making you use those words. I'm sure you were thrilled. Pretty please. Alright, now it's time to use Nahal in his eye, I think.
Wine. Or more like vinegar. Someone drank it anyway. Could follow the scent. A crack. Too small to pass through, but big enough for sound to come out.
Well, we know that this is going to lead. Yeah. Voila. One secret passage to an All-God. Oh, jeez.
What? Who dares disturb my divine being?
Geralt of Rivia. Pleasure. Expected the All-God to be corporeal in form, but never thought he'd be corpulent. Fattened up nicely at those peasants' expense.
Expense? Expense? Not a word about the help I give in return. Blessings, absolutions, enlightened advice. Believe me, these folks need all of it. I'd watch over them still if they fulfilled their end. But lately they offer these pathetic scraps.
That they steal from the mouths of their children, and to make matters worse, you cast a curse on them.
And I'll not lift it till they bring me worthy offerings. I'm to settle for curds and whey? Not a chance. And you can tell them that.
Got an idea, I'm gonna kill you, alright? Straight to the point. Settle for humble offerings or die. Fine, I'll tell them. Option 2 is probably the one, but let's find out a bit more.
Been in this hole long?
For a century or so. One winter I found shelter here. Built a fire so large the flames leapt through the crack. Lit the bushes above. I coughed from the smoke. And suddenly heard a peasant. A voice out of nowhere, he called. A miracle. Thus, I became a god.
Parasite, more like.
Maybe so. But what of Freya and Melitele then, Demanding prayers and offerings, given naught in return? I talk at least.
We're obviously not going to go for option 1 because that's straight up murdering him, even though he is sort of like taking advantage of the weak and poor. Fine, I'll tell them he's just giving in to him. I'm not going to do that either.
Listen here, Lord Ass. You're going to be satisfied with what you get, or I'll feed you to the ravens.
Plowing reformers. No, fine, fine. I'll sup more modestly. But just till the end of the war, not one day longer.
Fucking oh god. Well, as I'm gonna rob you blind, man. We'll rob you blind. Right, give me all your stuff. Right, you better have some decent shit down here. I know. Ho ho. Runestone. Really? Not what I was hoping for. Right, that's the way out. Here we go. More chests. Leshen decoction. Radovid the Stern. Sure, that'll be a joyful read. Taking that. Oh. Such a shame I can't loot all of these. Ugh. Well, at least we've solved the peasants' problem. So let's head back and tell them the good news.
Anything new?
Talk to your old god, face to face.
And will he show us mercy?
He will. Promise to be pleased with whatever you bring.
I told you the All God's merciful, understanding. Thanks, Witcher.
Did you know there's a crypt below Fellow? Oh, interesting. I don't really know what I want to choose here. Because did you know there's a crypt below? That'll probably make them go down there and see what the All God actually is. And farewell, we'll leave him at it.
Farewell. The All God show you favor.
Yeah, that was essentially show them what their god truly is. And a fight would probably break out knowing our luck, and either the peasants will die, which is the more likely outcome, or the All God will die, which is the better outcome. But hey, he's got 50 crowns from that. Not too shabby for 5 or 10 minutes work. Still poor right away, so I didn't take any money, but still. Right, now we would like to head into Orison, won't we? So the Bloody Baron's still up here where our next stash location is. Hello, shopkeeper. It's got to be a travelling shopkeeper then. There's no way there'd be one just stationed up at that road for no reason. I'll run into him at some point, I'm sure. No need to divert away from the town. Not yet, at least. There's no guardian soldiers there. More notices. Ruins. try and avoid the wolves if possible. Let's try and keep an angle through them when I run through these woods. I am getting pretty close. Let's just fight him. Actually, we've got beast oil that we have not used yet. Enhanced as well, so it's on our steel. Let's put necrophage on the silver actually while we're at it. Put some Tawny Island Peaches filter and head in. A bomb could do me wonders here, actually. That's a nice one. Burn! More fire! Come on. Warg on pretty much no health is definitely dead. I know I probably could have got away without fighting them then, but thinking of it, I just saw my raw meat was down to 7, so I could do with a little bit of a stock increase. That's when none of them bloody drop either. I think I got 1. Maybe not another 1. They drop hides as well, let's not forget, and they always sell well. Ah, nice. Speak the word and they drop. Can dismantle them as well and get a good amount of crafting materials from it. Igni just wrecks wolves so badly. These ones are just the stragglers from the pack. Obviously killed the warg. Right, we're alright. There's absolutely nothing else in these woods apart from me. I'd be able to sense them otherwise. Here we are, Oraton. Nilfgaardians. There's still an inspection point inside his house here, you know. But I'm fairly certain it's still, yeah, it is just that. Oh, Graham. But here we are, Oraton. The next village where I am sure that as a Witcher, we'll be running into plenty of more problems that only I can solve.